No one remembers when humanity was first noticed by the galaxy, only when it became impossible to ignore. In the early years of interstellar expansion, the galactic concord categorized every known species using three primary metrics: physical strength, technological output, and psychic capacity. Humanity ranked low in all three. They were fragile. They aged quickly. Their ships relied on inefficient chemical and fusion propulsion. Their soldiers required oxygen, food, sleep, and morale. The Concord labeled them non-threatening, Category 7. That decision would later be studied as the greatest intelligence failure in recorded galactic history. When the Car Dominion began its expansion, no one expected humans to matter. The Car were ancient. Their war doctrine had not changed in 10,000 years because it had never needed to. They crushed resistance through overwhelming force, then erased entire cultures to prevent rebellion. Civilizations stronger than humanity fell in weeks. The Threxian hives collapsed after a single orbital engagement. The Valari mind cities were silenced in 3 days. The Iridians surrendered without firing a shot. Each defeat followed the same pattern: decisive, brutal, final. When the Car fleet entered human-claimed space, the Concord barely reacted. There were no emergency sessions, no warnings issued. The assumption was simple: humanity would fall quietly. The first battle changed nothing. Car battlecruisers annihilated 3 human colonies along the outer rim. Human fleets attempted conventional defense and were destroyed almost immediately. Their tactics were predictable, their formations rigid, their losses catastrophic. Observers recorded humanity's collapse at 93% probability. Then the humans retreated. Not in panic, not in disarray, they simply vanished. For 3 standard cycles, there was no contact, no counterattack, no diplomatic attempt. Human space appeared abandoned. Sensors detected power failures across entire systems. Orbital stations went dark. Trade routes dissolved. The Concord assumed extinction. The Car advanced deeper, expecting no resistance. That was mistake number 1. The first anomaly occurred in the Hrax corridor, a narrow hyperspace channel essential for Car logistics. A supply fleet entered as scheduled. It never exited. No distress signal, no explosion, no debris. Just absence. Car Command initially classified it as a navigation failure. Then a second fleet vanished. Then a third. The corridor was scanned. Empty. No mines. No detectable energy residue. Nothing that matched known weapons signatures. Car doctrine dictated forward aggression. They advanced anyway. That was mistake number 2. On the 4th passage, the fleet emerged, partially. Half the ships arrived intact. The others appeared fused, twisted, or spatially inverted. Crew inside were alive, but non-functional. Their nervous systems locked in constant feedback loops. They could not speak, could not move, even could not die. Humanity had weaponized space-time distortion. The Concord demanded explanation. Humanity did not respond. Instead, the humans changed tactics. They stopped defending territory. They attacked infrastructure. Communication relays failed first, then fuel synthesis stations, then star map beacons. Car fleets began losing orientation. They arrived at destinations days late
or weeks early. Some exited hyperspace inside stars. Others reappeared light years off course. Car engineers could not adapt. Their technology was optimized, perfected, static. Human technology was not. Humans modified systems mid-conflict. They deployed prototypes. They accepted failure as data. Every loss taught them something. Car intelligence intercepted fragments of human communications during this phase. What they found confused them. There were no victory chants, no declarations of dominance, only analysis. Human commanders spoke calmly about casualty ratios, enemy behavioral patterns, logistical stress points. Entire fleets were sacrificed deliberately to test reactions. The car did not understand this mindset. In car culture, war was honor and finality. In human culture, war was problem-solving. The turning point came at Outpost J-17. A human station, seemingly abandoned, drifted near a dead star. Car forces boarded it, expecting scavenging. Instead, the station activated. Gravity shifted without warning. Corridors elongated. Bulkheads folded inward. Car soldiers found themselves separated, isolated, hunted by an enemy that never appeared directly. Human drones whispered through walls using ultrasonic vibrations tuned to car auditory frequencies. The sound triggered panic responses, evolved to detect predators that no longer existed. By the time the station self-destructed, every car unit aboard was dead, most without a single shot fired. The Concorde finally called an emergency assembly. They asked a question no one had ever asked before. What if humanity was not weak? What if it was dangerous? The answer came too late. Humans escalated without announcement. They introduced false signals across Concorde networks, perfect imitations of official commands. Fleets were rerouted into ambushes they believed were resupply zones. Entire armadas followed human-generated orders without realizing the source. When the deception was discovered, it was already embedded too deeply to remove. Human logic viruses adapted faster than Concorde security protocols could respond. Then, the humans did something no species had ever attempted. They attacked the car homeworld. Not with fleets, with silence. Car planetary sensors went blind. Orbital defenses powered down without explanation. Atmospheric processors fluctuated unpredictably. The humans never entered orbit. Instead, they transmitted a single message on every frequency. It contained no threat, only data. Detailed projections showing exactly how car infrastructure would collapse over the next 72 hours if humans continued doing nothing. The implication was clear. Humanity was no longer reacting. It was controlling the conflict. Car Command attempted a counterstrike. Their largest remaining fleet jumped toward Seoul. It never arrived. Humanity had altered hyperspace constants locally, an act thought physically impossible. The fleet re-emerged, fragmented across hundreds of systems, each ship isolated, fuel-starved, and surrounded by human forces. The war ended without a final battle. The car surrendered not because they were defeated, but because they were understood. Humanity knew how they thought, how they planned, how they failed. In the aftermath, the Concorde re-evaluated every species classification model. Humanity no longer ranked on strength or technology scales. They were assigned a new category: adaptive predators. not because they hunted relentlessly, but because once engaged, they never stopped learning. Years later, when a Concord historian was asked how such a weak species prevailed, they answered simply, "Humans were never the strongest species. They didn't need to be. They were the only ones willing to change." And that made all the difference.